heartbreaking cry echoed through the alley, a deer, trapped and struggling for its life. Its frail body was caught on a fence, suspended high above the ground, with sharp thorns waiting like cruel sentinels. Every frantic movement threatened to worsen the situation as the animal fought against its fears and the painful reality of its struggle. Panic surged through the people who had gathered around, their hearts racing with worry. The small deer seemed so vulnerable, trapped in such a helpless position. The jagged thorns above it appeared ready to tear into its fragile body at the slightest misstep. Time felt like it stood still as the witnesses watched, powerless to stop the terror unfolding before their eyes. Then, in a twist of fate, something miraculous happened. The deer, though struggling, seemed to be caught in such a way that the thorns barely grazed its skin. It was a moment of unexpected grace, an almost unbelievable stroke of luck. The onlookers, though still shaken, held their breath as a few brave men from the neighborhood stepped forward, determined to help. With great care, they approached the frightened animal, their movements slow and deliberate, making sure not to startle it further. Together, they gently lifted the deer from the fence, one hand on its fragile body, the other supporting it in a way that would avoid causing more harm. As it finally fell to the ground, the deer's trembling body reflected its terror and exhaustion, but it was free. Without hesitation, one of the men rushed the deer to the nearby veterinary clinic, his heart pounding in his chest. The vet's diagnosis brought relief. The deer had not suffered serious injuries, though its abdomen was bruised from the pressure and the fear it had endured was taking its toll. After a dose of painkillers and some much-needed nourishment, the deer slowly began to regain its strength. In a quiet act of kindness, a family from the neighborhood decided to take the deer in. They created a warm, safe space for it, with soft bedding and bowls of milk. The deer, initially wary and fearful, began to relax under their care. Day by day, it grew stronger and more trusting, licking their hands as a way to express its gratitude. But the family knew that despite their love for the deer, it didn't belong with them forever. It belonged to the wild, to the deep green forest where it could live freely. Once it had fully recovered, the family made the difficult decision to let the deer go, knowing it was the right thing to do. When the day came, they watched as the deer disappeared into the woods, feeling both sadness and pride. Yet, to their surprise, the story didn't end there. The deer, now strong and free, often returned to visit them, sometimes bringing along its herd. It would wander into the yard, where it had once been cared for, and nibble at the food the family left out. The bond that had begun in fear and struggle had transformed into something much deeper. The once frightened creature had found not only safety, but friendship in the humans who had saved it. The unlikely connection between the family and the deer grew stronger with each visit, proving that even in the most unexpected places, kindness could create lasting connections. If this story touched your heart, share it and spread the message of kindness.